Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're jumping into the world of Tamiya RC models. These things, they're not just toys, are they? They're like museum pieces for some huge nostalgia factor. But if you're into restoring them, you hit a wall pretty fast.
Yeah, you really do. The big challenge, for collectors, for restorers, it's finding original parts.
Yeah.
And they degrade,
Yep.
especially the decals. Oh man, the original decal sheets.
Mhm.
They get yellow, they crack, the adhesive just gives up. Trying to find a perfect original sheet, it's incredibly hard
Yeah.
and expensive. That's the collector's dilemma right there.
Okay, so scarcity creates an opportunity, right? And that's where this aftermarket ecosystem comes in. We're talking Team Blue Groove, TBG, doing bodies, and MCI Racing, doing the decals. But, it makes you wonder, how does MCI actually do this legally? With logos and stuff, and why do their paint masks fit the aftermarket bodies, not the originals? And are they any good?
Right. Okay, the legal side. It's interesting. You've got two things, trademark and copyright.
Yep.
Trademark is the Tamiya logo itself, or like sponsor names Goodyear, Castrol, that sort of thing. Copyright is more about the overall graphic design, the layout, the artwork on the sheet. MCI stuff touches on both.
So why doesn't Tamiya just shut them down? They're huge.
Well, it's probably a few things. An enforcement calculus, you could call it. First, suing internationally is super expensive, and what would they really gain from a small company like MCI? Probably not much.
Yeah.
Then there's the PR hit. Imagine Tamiya suing the very fans, keeping the vintage scene alive, could backfire badly.
Ah.
Think Red Bull's heavy-handed stuff. And maybe, just maybe, something called latches. Like, if they've known about it for ages and done nothing, their case might be weaker.
So MCI isn't really hurting Tamiya. They're almost helping, filling a gap.
Exactly, you nailed it. Tamiya themselves often can't include original sponsors on re-releases. Licenses expire, or they're way too expensive now. Or impossible, think the old tobacco or alcohol brands, right? So MCI steps in. They're problem solvers, providing those historically accurate decals. Honestly, a nicely restored vintage Tamiya with MCI decals is basically free advertising for Tamiya, keeping that whole history alive.
Okay, that makes sense. And this links up with Team Blue Groove, TBG. They work together.
Yeah, very much so. It's a clear partnership. TBG does the vacuum-formed polycarbonate bodies. MCI does the decals and the paint masks for those bodies. They actually link to each other on their sites. It's symbiotic.
But why design masks for the repro bodies, the TBG ones, and not the original Tamiya shells?
That's key. Reproduction bodies, even really good ones like TBGs, are essentially copies of copies. There are tiny differences, different plastic, different process TBG vacuum forms. Tamiya often blow molded originals and just, generational fidelity loss. Material shrinks a bit differently. Like, I think the TBG Avante 2001 body is something like 5% smaller overall than an original. Tiny, but measurable.
Gotcha. So MCI makes masks that perfectly fit the available TBG bodies, not the super rare, slightly different originals. It creates this sort of closed loop, doesn't it? You get a TBG body, you get MCI decals and masks.
Precisely. It's a smart system. Now, about the quality of those MCI decals.
Yeah, what's the verdict? Are they actually good?
Generally, yes. They print on clear, commercial-grade vinyl, and crucially, they back the colors with opaque white ink. That means the colors pop, even on a dark body. They don't look washed out. And the customization is kind of wild. Resizing from tiny scales up to 15th, changing colors, chrome finishes, protective coatings, lots of options.
And what do people actually using them say? The community feedback?
Overwhelmingly positive, actually. You see great product, good quality, excellent service, all the time in forums.
But there must be some downsides. Nothing's perfect.
True, there are nuances. The main one people mention is the adhesive. It's very sticky. Like, you get one shot. Repositioning is almost impossible if you apply them dry, which is why you absolutely must use the wet application method. A drop of dish soap and water lets you slide it into place. Critical step. Very occasionally, you might hear about a coating issue, or maybe a color being slightly off compared to an original sheet. Rare, but it happens. And this is important if their customer service is reportedly excellent. If you get a bad sheet, they seem very quick to sort it out. Small company, responsive.
Okay, so wrapping this up for, someone listening who's building one of these kits, what's the decision? Well, if you're the absolute purist, chasing maximum value for a shelf queen, maybe you still hunt down those incredibly rare, expensive original Tamiya decals. Good luck. But for pretty much everyone else, restorers, people who actually run their cars, even folks building the new re-releases, MCI offers access. Access to crisp, durable decals with the period-correct sponsors that Tamiya itself often leaves off now.
Yeah, I agree. My final advice, embrace the system. Pair a TBG body with the MCI decals and masks designed for it. And please, please use the wet method for applying those decals. Saves a lot of potential frustration.
Absolutely. It makes you think, though, companies like MCI and TBG, they're not just selling parts. In a way, they've become sort of custodians of RC history, haven't they? Keeping these iconic designs on track and visible. Which does raise a bigger question, maybe for you to ponder. What other hobbies or niches have these kinds of gap-filling companies, bridging what corporations do and what passionate communities actually need?